Regehr, who's one of our thought leaders on basic income, is teaching at the moment, but she's with us in spirit. I also want to acknowledge that several colleagues I'm expecting to join us, and we also have some special guests in the room who've been tremendous leaders and advocates for basic income. It is great to see them here with us today, and it's because of their great work in advocacy that Bill C-237 was introduced. So I saw Annie Koutrakis, Goody Hutchings, Rachel Bendayan, Nathaniel Erskine-Smith. Four key people have indicated that they're hoping to join us this morning, and also special guests, the Honorable Hugh Segal and the Honorable Art Eggleton, both who've been instrumental thought leaders, advocates, champions for basic income in Canada for many, many years now. I want to let everybody know that this is being recorded, and I'm going to start off with a land recognition. So as much as this is virtual, I'm going to do the land acknowledgement for Toronto. So we acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. So with that, I'll start off with my remarks. Earlier this week, I introduced Bill C-237, an act to establish a national strategy for a guaranteed basic income. While this is an idea that has been talked about for a number of years, and there have been motions presented in the House of Commons on this topic, this is the first time a bill has been introduced on guaranteed basic income in Canada. This bill is the culmination of many years of work, research, and advocates and champions, many of which I have mentioned earlier on in my remarks. They've been promoting and engaging Canadians in public discourse on this topic for many years. I'm actually going to start off by saying what this private member's bill is not about. It is not about testing whether or not basic income is a good idea. There's already strong and substantial existing information that supports the effectiveness of guaranteed basic income, but there's much less information on the best ways or models to implement and deliver basic income. Bill C-237 is focused on enabling the capacity to frame, test, and validate different models of implementation to get to those answers and the data. And to be clear, if passed, this bill would be focused on how to create basic income. This bill does not propose what basic income model to use, but it does provide a framework for enabling implementation pilots across Canada whose details would be determined through discussion and negotiation between the federal government and interested provinces or territories. The bill does not put a price tag on guaranteed basic income in Canada or propose how much it would cost. As a private member's bill, I'm not able to commit the government to spending money, but if this bill passes and it enables an agreement between provinces or territories and the federal government, then the cost would be determined at that point. It does not propose to eliminate any government-assisted income and support programs in order to only offer guaranteed basic income as a standalone program. What the implementation model looks like and contains will be determined by each individual through the federal provincial arrangement. It will work with existing programs and indeed over time could replace some programs. I would also hope that the basic principle of everyone is better off is adopted, because that is indeed the intention of this private member's bill. Now, it does propose the creation of a framework of national standards so that best practices can be created for the implementation of a guaranteed basic income over time. And it does propose the collection of data to identify the impact in 3 key areas. So what's the impact on government in terms of responsiveness, effectiveness, and over time, whether there's a reduction in the complexity of our social welfare system. It does look at impact on recipients, so training, retraining, upskilling, job income levels, etc. And then it also looks to collect data on the impact of basic income on recipient communities. So what's the impact on entrepreneurship, on civic action, and many other things. So why am I proposing this private member's bill, and why now? Canada's current social welfare system was created in the 1970s, and no matter how many times it's adjusted, still too many Canadians are falling through the cracks. There are literally hundreds of income and support programs for Canadians delivered by dozens of departments and ministries. This complexity means that our current service model misses many of the Canadians most in need, focuses too often on applications and auditing Canadians, and less so on the actual support that they need. So despite these programs and our deliberate efforts to tackle income inequality, it continues to grow. So maybe it's time to review the foundation of our social welfare system and bring it into the 21st century. Perhaps it's time to look at a different service model like guaranteed basic income, one that may simplify our social programs while better delivering support. Another reason for why now is that the world of work is changing faster than ever before. So more workers are shifting to the gig economy. There's more temporary and short-term work and jobs, and many jobs are being eliminated and have been eliminated for a number of years by automation and artificial intelligence. In addition, disruptions in our economy are happening faster and more frequently, leaving many Canadians working harder, longer, and feeling like it's more difficult to get ahead. So all through history, humans have had to adapt to change, and we know how to do this. But we have trouble with transitions, particularly the negative ones, one of which we're going through right now. Our social safety net is not well designed to help Canadians through transitions, so we need a new model, one that does, and one that provides stability to the middle class, to those trapped in the cycle of poverty, and to those in danger of falling into poverty. If someone's struggling to stay above water and has to make decisions about how to survive, one can't be innovative. One's not going to take risks like starting a business or retraining or upskilling. So we need a social welfare system that's more responsive, less complex, more flexible, and is better at managing labor changes, disruptions, and transitions. And a basic income program can offer that. And what better time than now? At a time when we're about to invest $70 to $100 billion to restart our economy, now's the time to experiment, test new ideas, fix structural issues, and to build our economic and social structures back better. Finally, this is my final point, I see guaranteed basic income as a cornerstone of Canada's innovation and economic growth strategy. Equal opportunity for everyone to succeed is one of my fundamental values, and it's at the heart of Bill C-273. Only by ensuring we have a system that properly supports Canadians, that provides true stability, and removes all obstacles to the access to opportunity, will we enable Canadians and Canada itself to achieve its potential. So that's the end of my remarks. I'm now going to turn the floor over to Sheila Regehr, who's going to be followed by the Honourable Wayne Easter, who's going to be followed by Senator Kim Pate, and then finally Mr. Floyd Marinescu before we take your questions. So over to you, Sheila.